it was like if you guys came and just talked for an hour, I think that was the pitch I gave you. If you guys did a podcast, you'd be stacking up hours and hours of content that people could find you. They could watch all of your episodes and then just subconsciously know you, right? So then
Well, like check it. When we were on the phone with you the other day, we just hired a branch manager, so to speak, out in Salt Lake City. And when he interviewed, he was like, he called us, so he put in his application, and he found us through, well, obviously Indeed, but when he looked us up, he found our podcast. So he started watching our podcast, and he's like, dude, I started watching it, and like, I could get behind everything you guys talk about. Welcome back to Dino Service Bros with the Dino Service Pros. I'm David. We are here with Blake from Blue Form Media Group and old Brad boy over there. We got him back again. But yeah, let's kick it off. Blake, tell us what you guys do over here at Blue Form Media.
Yeah, man. Dude, we love working with you guys first off. And this is our studio, and we are thrilled to have you here. So
We love to be here.
Yeah, dude, this
is great.
It's cool. Yeah, we just provide podcasting services for anybody that wants it, and we take it all the way to the end zone. So from the 1 yard line where you have no content, you have just an idea, and then we run it all the way in the end zone with you. And we want to get you beyond the end zone where you're jumping into the stands with your fans, and they're like, and the school mascot's like twerking on you or something.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Throw back.
Just as a Raiders fan, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, maybe not Raiders fans. I wouldn't jump.
This is our year, man. This is our year. You know, we
Your
say
own
it every
fans
time.
would like stab you. They're like, yeah, we're so happy.
Dude, they just played the Chargers over there in LA, and there was fights like the whole game between players. And like the team was fighting, but people in the stand were fighting. I mean, that's a Raider game for sure.
Didn't the Raiders move to Vegas though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Which
they're in
is
Vegas. Yeah.
I mean, it's still appropriate.
Yeah, it works, but not as good as the old location.
No. Well, I think between LA and Oakland, what's harder, LA or Oakland?
Like tougher?
Yeah.
Tougher? Who's tougher?
Yeah.
Who's harder?
Yeah.
Probably Oakland, honestly. I'm from LA, but probably Oakland's crazy. So
Well, yeah, because like I think there's a high chance you'd get like an arts major in there.
yeah, I don't
And
know.
they'd like try to paint something while you're.
I don't know. Vegas is hard. I mean, I think it's cool because it's just right down the block from us, but it is hard.
That's only because all the gangs moved up from LA to Vegas. Like when the cops got crazy and they started hammering down, everybody moved to Vegas. Fact, Google it, check it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
pull it up. Fact check him.
Yeah. I only know that because my parents are cops, so my dad would tell me.
Yeah.
He's like, no, all the gangs moved to Vegas. When we beat down on them, they moved to Vegas and basically just expanded operations.
Where's your dad live?
Oh,
No,
man.
I'm just kidding.
I don't even know anymore.
Right?
The criminals are like, so there's these things called roads. And these things called freeways. We just get on them and go somewhere.
There's life beyond the block.
Yeah.
Dude, and then what they can do is like write that down in their history, and they're like, we were oppressed, and so we found the promised land, and we got kicked.
It was the
out
left
of
on
LA.
3400.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every religion, they were oppressed and they moved to the promised land. It's like the same thing for the cartel or whatever. Like, man, we gotta go. We're being discriminated here for all the crimes we're doing. We just want to practice our crime in peace. The cops keep raiding us. So they moved to LA. That's hilarious. Or to Las Vegas. That's crazy.
I'd imagine you'd want to stay in LA. It seems like everyone gets away with everything out there, but
Now, I heard Vegas gangs are moving back to LA.
yeah.
I'm just
Fact check that too. It's there.
Like they went to Evanston, Wyoming. Actually.
What did we just see? Mongols?
Oh,
Here.
we have a Mongols chapter here.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
Whoa.
We went to
Yeah, in
biker gang.
Laverkin.
yeah.
Whoa.
We went to Black Bear and like 6 of them just rolled in, and we were like, they got their leather on and everything, and we're like, what the hell? What's going on?
Or
here?
not Laverkin, they're in Tokerville.
Tokerville, yeah.
And the funny thing is, the way they spell Toker is Toker.
Gangsta.
Yeah.
instead of it's
do you-
normally spelled TOK or no QUER.
It's
Oh,
weird.
that's right.
But they're like choker.
Yeah,
Like they want
like,
They-
dr-
oh, so
like
they're-
drugs. Yeah,
Yeah. They're playing on words.
pharmaceuticals.
Man.
I thought that was cool though. I was like, I didn't expect that in Southern Utah. So that was like, we were interviewing
but just to be
someone. and we were
clear,
like, what the
they're
heck?
a charitable organization that helps the community. I read their website.
Oh, you did? Okay.
They have like a bad rap to them, but they're actually like, I don't know. A lot
Yeah.
of bikers are like, you meet bikers, they're all chill.
Yeah.
They're just big. What's up, man?
Yeah.
I,
You
hey,
should-
I was on Sons of Anarchy, and that's true. So like, I got to hang out with a bunch of the Hell's Angels when we did production.
Have
Oh,
you
were they
talked
there?
about that on here?
What's that?
Have you talked about that on here? I think you
No.
should dive into that.
No, just
So-
being on the show.
Yeah. So Brad was like an actor,
Yeah, like an extra.
an extra actor.
Yeah, yeah. Stand in the corner.
Do you have an IMDb page?
I used to.
Oh, that's sick. Okay.
Yeah, I used to. I used to do that stuff all the
Whoa.
time.
He was trying to become famous.
I was.
So you were an extra.
I couldn't let go of high school, so I was like, how do I stay glorious?
Were you in drama?
No.
You
no.
never did. So you never.
No,
did
but I
anything?
was one of those guys that was friends with everybody. The drama club was cool. Band guys were cool. I wasn't
Nerd.
supposed to be a cool guy. Yeah, I was a nerd. I was picked on in elementary school. I was picked on in junior high.
Damn,
and
the
then
trauma.
And you're
my
picked
bad.
on now.
It's just still picked on. Yeah,
You just run the company.
yeah, still picked on. Yeah, even pick on myself most days. But.
Let's talk about it, man. You okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll take it back. Talk about it though. You were on
Yeah,
Sons of Anarchy for what?
Yeah, I was originally hired to be the president of the Irish chapter, and then I got there and they're like, "You look too young," which I have a baby face, so it was what it was. I didn't have a beard back then either. I looked like David.
You weren't hard enough.
Yeah, no, I did. So I was. This is gonna sound crazy, but I was Derek Jeter's stand-in for the MLB All-Star commercials. Yeah.
Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
That's totally-
I was
Maybe
a lot
David.
skinnier than.
That's what I was like.
You can maybe get away with it.
They just spray tanned him really quick. You know?
Thank goodness for like CGI and the magic they do. But yeah, we did this. We did
Isn't
the
that
commercial at the beach. I think it was when they did the All-Star game in Anaheim.
Oh, that's sick. So they just put you in like his jersey, and you
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Ran
And you
around
just
the
like
beach.
looked like you knew how to get it a grounder. You're like,
Yeah. Not even. It was weird. It was just hanging out on the beach in Derek Jeter's uniform.
oh, really?
Yeah.
You didn't have a mitt.
Yeah. No
glove?
No, they didn't let me do anything.
Yeah.
Funny story though. I was on the
Like, we can't get this guy out.
I was on The Office, and there was a batting scene, and it was I forget
the
his name.
show,
Ed
The
Helm.
Office?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's like a quick thing. It's just like
We're just
Yeah,
finding
it's 2
out more.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we were watching it yesterday. Me and my brother and sister-in-law were like, I'm like, that's him. Look, that's his jawline.
Pause it.
You need, like to go back in like 5 seconds. You're like, no, just a little bit. But
Oh my gosh. That's
it's like
so cool.
it's such a quick thing. So we were watching it yesterday. I was trying to show him, but is it when he's like walking up and you just swung and you
Yeah.
were running the base? Was
Yeah,
that you?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Can't
sweet.
tell. You can't even see him.
The
but-
best part, though, right before that,
He-
Ed Helms and Steve Carroll were standing at the fence, and they asked him they wanted the fence open because nothing's real in Hollywood, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just for the shot. And so I'm at home plate. They're over standing on the fence, but they wanted him standing in the open gate. And so the first pitch that comes to me, I swing and I hit it right at Ed Helms' face. Like this, if he didn't move any quicker, he would have died.
Who is Ed Helms? Who does he play?
He was in what's that Vegas movie? I can't
is he-
say.
does he
He's
play
Doctor
He plays Andy,
He's the Hangover.
Hangover. Yeah. And he's the dentist.
and he loses his tooth.
Oh
Yeah,
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 Face tattoo? Yeah,
yeah.
he plays Andy in The Office.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah. Okay.
And so I almost killed him. he almost died that day.
He didn't remember. He didn't see this. He
Yeah,
was like,
I
I'm
hope
suing
so.
This guy, you know?
Yeah, I
He's
hope so.
suing him.
Because him and I talked after, and I was like, "Man, I'm so sorry." He's like, "I never felt so alive."
I want to go to war.
So after that, they moved him behind the fence, which I think is what you guys see in the show. I would do all this stuff, and I'd never go watch it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like this. I don't watch this. We do this, and I see my kids watch it or something. I walk in and they'll watch it, and
Yeah.
like my it would be my cousin. It's my cousin's kid. He called me. He FaceTimed me 2 days ago. He's like, "Hey, David." He's like, "What are you doing?" Young. He's I think 4. But he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Just working." I'm like, "What are you doing?" He turns the camera. He's like, "Just watching you on YouTube." And it's just he's watching all the reels, and I'm like, cool. I'm like, you like watching it? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So he loves watching it. And my cousin's like, he watches you like every day. Like he just throws it on and goes finds your episodes and watch it. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like, you know,
is cool.
He's gonna be a plumber.
yeah. He's like, I want to go do that. But my kids love it. It's just a weird thing for them. They're like, how are you on YouTube? You
He
know,
gets to
like,
plumber school. He's like, "Where's the microphone?
yeah, this is
Where's
boring.
the headsets? There's no cool lights here."
Oh man,
That's so funny. I was on Titanic too.
Oh my gosh, dude!
It was awesome.
How long is the list? So let's recap.
So Titanic 2, Sons of Anarchy, Office, Rules of Engagement, Coors Light commercial, Allstate commercial.
Oh shit!
I did like 2 other TV shows. I'm trying to remember the name. I got to meet David Beckham on one of them.
Oh, dang.
That was awesome. He's a really.
But can you bend it like Beckham?
Maybe.
I think that's a
do
show.
Do we need to show it?
It's a movie.
Dude, send it.
No.
Full send.
No.
Oh.
No. Hits my hip on the table.
Oh man. Well, Blake, what's I know for Blue Form, you got Mallory back there hiding behind the screen, the
Real
brains
quick
of the
though,
operation.
what's Blue Form mean?
Oh, okay. That's a good little story. But yeah, this is awesome. We run a media company, and I didn't know you were dripping with accolades in the film industry. That's
I'm
awesome,
not,
dude.
but thank you.
Sidebar.
It's so cool though. But yeah, when we started Blue Form, Mal we were thinking about names, and we're throwing out, like asking for help and like, hey, what do you think we should name our media company? Or we're bouncing some ideas around with her family and my family and some friends. And like probably 80% of them were like, Red Rock Media. We're like, oh dear God, if we hear another Red Rock suggestion or like red something about the desert, we're just gonna vomit. So
Hey, real quick, David, what was our first name supposed to be?
Red Rock.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
But like, there's one here though. The owner of Red Rock Plumbing, he's
awesome.
He's a
He's
cool
good.
cat.
He's a good
but
guy.
I was like, for St. George, that worked. I was just like, Anyways,
And it works all right, but like it's just overdone so much in southern Utah, and I've been all around like Arizona, like when I was doing door-to-door sales and other like Red Rock areas, and they have all of that all over the place, dude. Like Mesa this, Red Rock that, Red Desert this, Red Sand in your pants, auto, whatever, Cactus this, that, so we're like, no, we're not going to do anything like that. And so Mal, with her audio engineering degree, we knew we wanted a media company because if we just did like podcasting or something more specific, media is a better like blanket term, so it encompasses more. So we could literally do anything. Like I think we could probably film a movie here, or go out and film something. But
we have an actor, Brad.
I'm
we have
ready.
an actor.
I'm ready.
You get the lead this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about time.
It's
free though.
I got a plot for you. It's Brad as the lead, David as a supporting role, but you guys team up, and your wife gets captured by a big lizard, taken out of the castle, and you have to go you're both plumbers, and you have to go fight the bad guys.
This
Dude,
sounds
It's like
Why?
Shrek and Donkey, bro. But you're Donkey.
You're done. That makes no sense.
You guys don't know that plot? You don't know what I mean?
No, I do. I was gonna say it sounds like a book my wife would read.
It's called Mario. I was waiting for you guys to get it. I was like,
It just sounded like
and you
Shrek
guys
to
like
me,
mushrooms.
Yeah.
And you guys like to jump up. And
I'm like,
collect
man,
coins.
this is really cool. Has this happened before?
man. Multiple times.
Yeah, and you
Multiple
both
times.
wear overalls.
I'm here for it.
Never been done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the movie we should do. But yeah, sorry to get back to it. Blue Form. So Mal is an audio engineer by trade. So a wave form is a type of audio file. And so we're like, oh, what if we did something with that waveform media or something? And then Mal has the most brilliant blue eyes. Her favorite color is blue. She loves swimming in the bluest of waters, so it's
Vibey.
Yeah, it's a vibe. So, and she loves the color blue. So she has like everything is blue, like all of her cups, whatever she can get her hands on. So we're like, well, why don't we just call it Blue Form? And then it stuck, and we're like, oh shit, all right. Okay, and the more we said it, Blue Form Media. So that's what it was. So she's built her LLC off of that. So that's kind of where that.
That's
her
rad.
favorite color, a form like indicating like an audio form. So we're like, it's like a blue audio form file, and then it's media. So
That's magical.
yeah, it's super magical.
I love how companies come up with their names. They're so creative sometimes.
Yeah. And then I think the bigger you get, they say you need something that's like, it's not real.
Right.
Like Google. Like, what was that? That wasn't even a word, like googly eyed or something. But like there's so many like Vivint, like that's a big company, but like that they made up their own word, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what a lot of companies do is they make something that's like intangible, I guess, once you get big enough. So
yeah,
we'll see if we ever rebrand. It'll be, I don't know. We'll make up some stupid.
Well, it's got to be good for like SEO on the web because, like you were saying, Red Rock. If you type in Red Rock, there's a list of a million of them. So finding what you're looking for, even if it's Red Rock Media, you're gonna hit like Red Rock Carpets, Red Rock Upholstery.
Yeah.
Before you even get there. It's
Dude,
like same thing
point.
with Vivint. I'm sure with them there was a lot of thought into it. Like it's a domain we can get, and it's when people type it in, they're gonna see us at the top of the list.
Yes. Well, when they made the transition from APX Alarm, I think they were, to Vivint, I was working there as like a tech support rep, and like as a side gig while I was working my other jobs. And so they had this big company meeting about like the logo, and so we got to hear from the guy who created the Vivint logo, and it was really boring. I was just wanting to go to lunch, but once they passed it off to him, and he was talking about what went into the logo and the thought, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, they did it all in lowercase letters to be more inviting, and all this stuff. And
guy I went to high school with, he's an executive at Vivint now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool what goes into the company names, but that's cool. Did he build it from the ground up with everybody?
He was there at the start. Yeah, he was there
okay.
at the start.
What's his name?
Brad Kramer.
Brad Kramer. Is he around town here?
No, so we're from Santa Clarita, California. So it was it was weird. He moved here. He's Mormon, so it makes sense. A lot of them come to Utah because it's
for sure
the mecca of it. Yeah,
the motherland.
So he ended up. I can't remember how. I'll have to reach out to him, but he ended up at Vivint, and I was surprised because you don't find a lot of people from California. Well, at least back then you didn't. When I moved here like 14 years ago, it was rare to me that anyone would come to Utah. I didn't even want to be in Utah at that point. And then so finding out he was in Salt Lake, I was like, oh man, we're like neighbors.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that is true, man. Like nobody gave a shit about coming to Utah.
No.
And so what do you think?
Dude, I remember when I first moved here, like we all know was Dixie State, but it's now Utah Tech. When I first come here, that place was known for where you got your meth.
Oh, so yeah.
That was like the meth part. Like you got your drugs
true.
at the college, and now it's this beautiful university.
Yeah, dude.
Where you can get fentanyl now. It just looks better.
Yeah, that's a nationwide problem. Yeah, it looks better. Where do you want to take your fentanyl? Really
Be classy.
Exactly, dude. That's crazy. But yeah, it's so nuts how much the landscape of America has changed in the last decade.
Oh yeah,
so drastic with all the markets, all the inflation. Not to get political here, but it's weird because I remember I was like, who would ever want to be in Utah?
100%.
Like the early 2000s, dude, I spent just plotting how I was going to get out of Utah.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah. When I came, that was me. I got to get back to California.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice.
But they made it nice here. I grew up in a town that was really, he calls it a white picket fence town, and it was super nice. There's money there.
Yeah.
And when I first came here, I was like, I got to get back there. That's where nice is. Now when I go back and visit, I'm like, oh, it's a shithole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, it's so nice here.
Is it really?
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about it, down there, a house like you guys have, this is a $2 million home down there, you know?
Totally.
So, but here it's about 600,000, 500, something like that.
And for all those haters, he's exaggerating.
Am I though?
I mean, it's probably in $600,000 to $800,000.
Dude, my parents' house could sell for down there in Carson could sell for probably $7 million.
Yeah.
And it ain't worth $7 million, you know?
Yeah, and this house is interesting. And maybe I could talk a little bit about the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be great. Cause
we keep sidelining, but this episode's about you guys. Yeah. You know?
I'm sidelining it.
Let's talk about it.
when I give everyone your address to show up here, they're like, it's a house. And I'm like, yeah, we thought that too. Just go inside though.
This is where you die.
We're not trying to do anything weird, but it is.
Here's a black couch. Come sit down.
How old are you? No, seriously. We've had like lawyers and stuff, you know, very serious. They're very, very serious. Lawyers are very serious. They want to say the right thing all the time. And I don't blame them. That's a hard profession. But yeah, they like show up. And Mal always jokes about it. And like, our house looks like a little granny lives here because that's who lived here when we got the house. And it's like a pink house, you know, with the stucco. And so, yeah, you show up and it just looks completely normal. And then you open the door and it's like every inch of it is studio, right? Now, when you guys started with us, though, this room wasn't
still a living room.
It was still a living room. Yeah, but this is our workshop that we're in, but we live in a master bedroom. And of course our kitchen. And then when everything's not a studio, like, oh no, this table conveniently turns into a kitchen table. Like, you know,
you guys work all the time. You guys work all the time.
It never ends for business owners anyway. And then we have a unique combo. I hope Mal doesn't get mad, but we do it. But we have a unique dynamic. And so in our relationship where, to put it bluntly, Mal does 90% of the work and I do jack shit. I joke about it, but no, we're just suited for better tasks. Like if Mal has a list of tasks, she is the happiest person in the world and she just goes. And like she doesn't have any speed but like 1,000 miles per hour. So if there's stuff to do, she's just going to do it. So all the back end and the production, Mal has done so much of it for years. Even when I was out selling and I wasn't really working here full time, I would go sell for a week and then I'd come back for a week. And so Mal was just holding the fort down. Like she's the hardest working person I've ever met. It's insane to watch, but she does it all. Like seriously, start to finish. After this recording's done, she's going to go spend some time mastering the audio file and then syncing it up, editing anything that needs to be edited out, like our F words at the beginning or whatever. You know,
no, leave them. Leave them.
Yeah, she will. But some people want those out or want them in, right? Depending on the client. So there's a lot of specifics to it. But I'm just the tech guy. I'm just to make sure I clear all the obstacles for Mal to just plow through shit. So it's kind of nice. But so I just solve the problems. I create these spaces. I build our teams, and so we have an editor team. We have two entities posting for social media, and so Mal, she's like she hates doing that stuff. She's like I would rather like just maybe talk to one or two people a day and just work, and that's what she thrives at. And her attention to detail, like she doesn't miss a beat, dude. Like if there's a mistake made, she's on it so fast. And so she's like the heart of our quality, the heart of our production is all Mal. And then I'm the flourish, I guess. So I come in and can paint a vision, sell the product, make sure all the tech is working, because that's my expertise area is just computers. I love computers. And then equipment being maintained. The audio equipment, though, I don't really touch as much because that's Mal's. She's very protective of her audio stuff. And so, yeah, we have an interesting dynamic, though. We took a thing called, have you guys ever heard of A Human Design?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
There's like 5 archetypes you can be in. And I didn't think there was much to it until, like, when I got mine taken, I was literally like sobbing. I was crying, like, because it just hit me like in my soul, dude. It was like, this is the most accurate. Like, it's like a personality test, but it's not. Like
guide you in the direction you're supposed to go in life, essentially.
Yeah, it's just telling you like your archetype. And
it's great for sales, actually.
It is.
Like you naturally pick up on it with people, and you like mimicking people and how you handle certain personalities.
Yes,
but you should look into it. It's cool.
It's just the personality traits, right?
Kind of.
It's
are
more
you
specific.
A D or C or whatever. Like,
I mean, that's what you end up in a box, like at the end.
Because I've done those,
for like the sales purpose.
I've done those,
but the actual
and stuff.
test is like it breaks it into your individual like personalities, likes, wants.
And there's better like archetypal personality, archetypal things, but this is like your actual human design. like your archetype of like where you're going to find the best optimal life and flow. So it's not so much your personality. Like you could be, you know, in this bucket and have a completely different personality than someone else in the same bucket than you. So it's not as like personality driven. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it. We probably have to get the actual definition off the website, but it's awesome. So there's 5 archetypes, just to sum it up. There's manifestors, there's generators, and then there's a hybrid of both, a manifesting generator. And then there's projectors and reflectors. Mm-hmm. And so we had a client that was doing a lot of like frequency, kind of emotion code healing stuff and kind of holistic healing.
Was this the one I was just doing yoga like 2 days ago or something in here?
Oh, she's on the same wavelength as that, but this was a while ago. They were one of our original clients, like in the first year of business. And yeah, we did this human design with her last summer. And it was just it was like the best thing we've ever done for our marriage, dude. It might not work for everybody, it might not land, but we took this archetype test, and I'm a manifester. I guess it's like 8% of the population. It's like one of the rarest ones apparently. So I feel really special. But my whole life I've just been like I was always like, I'm the problem. Like I'm just hard to work with. I couldn't do school very well, right? I couldn't fit in. I didn't want to comply. I would purposely not do all of my homework, and I would just read the textbook, and then I'd get an A or a B on the test. And so it happened 3 times in high school where I was called out for cheating, and I had to like retake the test right in front of my teacher and like prove to them I could do the math or do whatever was there. And so I was just never in school. Just always the issue. Like I always have like abrasions with people. Like I'm like, we could do this better. And they're like, no, shut up and work. Like just clock in, clock out when you're done. Make sure your work's done. I'm like, but what if I can make it efficient? What if I could increase our flow? And I always had like beef with my leadership and with people. And I'm like, am I really that abrasive? So I just thought I was a fucking douchebag my whole life.
Well, that's all school is for, is to box us in.
Exactly.
They're trying to create workers. So
exactly. And so like the generators are just really good at that. And they find a lot of joy. They get dopamine from it just day in, day out. They're like, you know, I'm doing something useful, and they feel really good. And they usually got good grades in school. There's a lot of like signs that someone's a generator, but they can do the same thing every day and handle a huge workload. They're really good employees and builders and workers. And Mal is actually a manifesting generator. So she gets this like big, just like boost of creative, but I think she's like 80% generator is what she says, 20% manifesting. So
see, I'm opposite. I'm 80% manifestor, 20% generator.
You're a manifesting generator too then. So yeah, you're like really good at doing the work, but you get that 20% where you're just going to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like in la la land.
That's like more discipline than anything now, because like the creative is what drives me. And then it's like, oh man, I have to do this other part or this doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like pure agony for me as a manifestor to go do, I mean, I do daily things like discipline stuff and, you know, like write in a journal, read, all that stuff. I find a lot of value in that. But if I'm supposed to like just clock in and be an employee, like I will lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
All the time. And so just reading that manifestor thing, it was like giving me permission for the first time in my life to be me. And I was like, I guess it made so much sense now. I'm like, if I had pursued self-employment or my own business earlier, like I would have avoided so many
obstacles.
Yeah, obstacles and just like
heartache
and stupid stuff, you know, and wasting time and just a whole bunch of self-worth issues. You know, I'm going to work for someone else. I gotta, you know. Anyway, so that a little bit more philosophy than we probably wanted to get into on that. But
no, that's
we
cool.
love it.
I think people should know that.
Yeah.
Because I got into business at a young age. I failed at several businesses. And then you kind of hit a point where you're like, why does this keep happening?
Yeah.
And so then that's when I took that test and figured out that, oh, it's because I'm more creative. And then on the generator side, like I get us to this point and then I need workers to help me keep pushing it forward.
Because you could create and get it started, right? That's what a manifesto, they initiate shit.
Yeah.
I could get this started. So Mal was like, I think I want to start my own company. And I was like, point me where you want me. And so I helped create these spaces, and like we're cutting down walls in our closets to make like a pass through from room to room. You know, we're drilling into stuff, cutting new electrical. Like your guy came here and just put electrical all over the ceiling here.
Where do you want it? Everywhere.
I'm like, put it wherever you want. And so, yeah, and I still got work for him too. But, you know, people are like, you're destroying your house. And we're like, it's our fucking house. We don't care.
I think it's so dope. I always tell people, every time we bring people in, I'm like, hey, Mal, Blake, you guys want to give them a tour? Because this thing is sick.
Yeah,
you know?
Thanks, man.
I'm like, I don't know where they sleep, but it's somewhere in here. Like, maybe they just pop up a bed somewhere. I'm like, because the whole house is a studio. Because, like, when we first got here to, like, meet with you guys, that was our thing. We're like, dude, where are we at?
I didn't know I was at the right place. I was like, checking Google Maps, checking Apple Maps.
Because you're just thinking, you're like, okay, studio, warehouse. Like, you're thinking all these things, and you show up here, and, like, that's your first thing. You're like, oh, man, this is going to go sideways. Then you walk in, you're like, dude, this is freaking sick. Like, and it's been amazing. We used to record out in the garage, and it was just, for us and what we did, it was such a vibe. But you guys have been easy to work with. Like, that, because we met with some other people prior to this, and, like, everybody's super, like, just business too much, where you guys have a happy medium. You know, there's a good balance to it where it's like you guys get stuff done, but we have a good time. There's not like, all right, cut, you guys suck, do this, do that.
Say it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's like,
direction offered. I think the maybe confusion people have, because until we talked, when we first talked on the phone that day, it was like, I don't know how, like what we would do on this, but the direction offered and the how you pointed us to where media's going and what people are into right now, it was like, oh man, that makes sense. So anybody that's out there that's interested in expanding their media, it's simple. They'll point you in the direction that you need to go.
Yeah, and even if
Blue
it's not,
Form Media will point you in the right direction.
Yes.
Hit these guys up.
even if it's
everyone
not
else-
us, we'll point you to someone else.
Yeah. Like, because we
yeah.
came to you and I was like, I just want cool videos.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, how about this? Look at it more in a business sense of how it can personify your business and push you guys in the right direction.
Because for us, we were never going to do a podcast until we spoke to you guys, and we were like, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's true. It's such an easy format because we could give you all the cool videos in the world, right? I could have you over. We could do a session and pump out a ton of shorts or short 30, 60-second reels, or do like really focused YouTube videos. We can do that, and I hope we do that eventually with you guys. And we kind of are with the help from Bentley and Xander, following you guys around. But what we're really interested in is what is the most sustainable way for you to get as much content as possible, because a cool video is like, it's cool, but some of them aren't going to be cool, right? Like not every clip or everything you post on social media it's not going to go viral, right? And if you do go viral one time, a lot of people go viral once and then they like disappear into nothingness. It's like one hit wonders kind of thing. And so it's more about consistency and, building a brand and building trust and like entering people's subconscious minds and being the first thought. It's like how if you do enough, search engine optimization, you're the first one on Google. So social media is kind of like a subconscious engine optimization.
No, it is. When people say tell us about you guys, just go check out our Instagram. Like that will tell you exactly everything you need to know about us.
Yeah.
Something that's really cool about it. Whereas like other companies tell us about you. Well, they can't say that because the only thing on their social is just like pictures of their work or videos of their work.
Or like an outdated website.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough to run a business. It's hard. These aren't just one-time things you do. We've made the mistake with our website as well. We're actually getting some help with it because we're kind of weak on the website of that. And so we're like, man, this is a living thing. It's kind of like a living document of your business. Your website should be always changing.
Ever changing, yep.
Ever changing, always evolving. Same thing with your social media, right? Same thing with your podcast. And so it was like, if you guys came and just talked for an hour, I think that was the pitch I gave you. If you guys did a podcast, you'd be stacking up hours and hours of content that people could find you. They could, they could watch all of your episodes and then just subconsciously know you, right? So then you
Well, like check it. When we were on the phone with you the other day, we just hired a branch manager, so to speak, out in Salt Lake City. And when he interviewed, he was like, he called us, so he put in his application, and he found us through, well, obviously Indeed, but when he looked us up, he found our podcast. So he started watching our podcast, and he's like, dude, I started watching it, and like, I could get behind everything you guys talk about. Like, I feel the same way about this and that. And like, he was like, oh, Mike, like I was listening to what Mike was saying. Like, he's been watching it just to connect more with us. He's like, I feel like I know you guys,
Yeah.
So I think it's cool because you really can see like us as a company, us as people, what is, I guess, going to be stuck on YouTube as long as YouTube's around.
Yeah, right.
But you can always find us, which is, I think, is the awesome side of the podcast where we really didn't think much about it. But
Yeah.
we love that we do it. It's fun. It's been we look forward to it on Sundays.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how how deep, and I've said this with every industry that we do podcasts for. I never realized how deep and how nuanced each industry is.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you guys are talking about the trades. You're talking about what it takes to be a plumber, and the education, the tools, the time spent in the trade, and
Culture.
then the culture, and then bouncing around and finding good employment and what to look for and how to do these jobs, and then the different like offshoots of types of plumbing. Like you got the new construction guys, and I'm just like, oh man, like there's so much information. And the podcast is probably the best way for you guys to get it out there and be as most consistent, because you guys have showed up and just stacked up a bunch of episodes, right? And so has this been easier for you than like looking at a camera and being like, here's the top 3 things you could do,
Yeah, because this is what we do when we're at the office. We just sit and talk. When we're in a car, we sit and talk. So we just come here and we sit and talk. We just have headphones on, microphone, and camera.
I think it's so much easier because when Bentley and Xander come up, they're like, we're going to record this. And it's like, it takes me like 6 times to record one video. I'm like, dude, go back, do it again. Here it's just like, there's really just no pressure on it. It's just, there's a mic in front of me and headphones on me, and we're just kicking it. And so.
And I'm surprised more companies haven't jumped on this train, because the one thing you hear about is how do we hire good people? And the hardest thing I think for a company to show is their culture, because you go to an Instagram page, right, of any company, and try to understand their culture and what they're about, and you're gonna get that like clean, pristine version of them, because everybody's trying to be proper.
Oh yeah.
Where I feel like a podcast actually lets them in a little bit and shows them what the culture's like, shows them who the people are there, shows them what they're about, what they do for work, what their days are like. And
Totally.
so I wish more companies would at the very least do like an introduction podcast, right? Like
Right.
even if it's one episode, just go and do it so that your audience, and not just the audience of consumer, but the audience of future employment can see what you guys stand for.
Yeah, it's like a culture diary,
Right.
a scrapbook, if you will.
I think we should do that. I think that's a really great point. It's like the about us, right? Like for our website, there's a video, boom, about us. And it's the podcast, what we're talking about. We could take clips or whatever, throw it up there. But same thing, when we first started, you mentioned like training videos. Like if we wanted, outside of the podcast, like if we want to do training videos for our company in itself, like we could sit and do this right here and knock it out and then just have it for our team to look at. So I think there's a lot of positive that come out of a podcast for sure.
Well,
And
Blue Form Media in general, just everything they cover on the media side. So like with them, what I'd say from our perspective is it's not just a company that does podcasts. It's a kind of one shoe fits all. Whatever you need media wise, Blue Form will cover. They specialize in podcasts, but they have such an array of options for the products they offer that I think it's worth it for any company, especially in Southern Utah, to look at.
Dude, thanks, man.
Yeah.
That made me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Nice.
But yeah. But the reason we doubled down on podcasts, and a lot of other videographers and some mastermind people that we were involved with, they're like, there's no money there. I'm like, yeah, there is. I'm like, shut up. And like, but what we're really interested in doing is creating a foundation for your content creation. You've heard that. I've said that on other podcasts, but that's what it is. Your podcast is the epicenter. It's the foundational piece that you come in and do all those things you just mentioned. Like it helps, give people a real raw look into who you are and what you stand for, what you think. And then it's just a foundation. So it's just a massive amount of content from just 1 hour of effort networking, bringing people on, right? Just exchange of ideas, education, information, all that good stuff. So that's what we're aiming for, is like, if we double down on this, we give our clients a foundational piece, then we can go off and, get a drone footage of you guys on the job or do whatever and just enhance. Anything else beyond that is the foundation is laid. So now you have a good platform to jump from.
Absolutely.
So more video, it's just all on that foundation, I guess. But that was our mindset into it, because we're like, we had this opportunity to go expand it and go chase other forms of media, and we just doubled down on the podcast. So it's worked out.
Awesome. You guys, you guys cover financial companies. You guys have what, like a 435, just a general local podcast. You have McMullen Injury Law, who's on here.
Which
is interesting. I've learned so much about injury law just by randomly following them.
Yes, yeah, their episodes out there are great, but yeah, they're not as consistent with the podcast. They just wanted to get information out in the form of a podcast. So they come in from time to time, but yeah, our big hitters are you guys, right? You're the only service-based like trades show that we have, and that's awesome. And then we have one real estate guy. We have a couple more real estate agents, but they do different podcasts. One is about like, self-worth, healing, and like overcoming like just the craziest life stories, right? You should actually be on.
I should be.
Hers. Overcoming addiction is her big thing, because she used to be a meth cook. And now she like runs an escrow company. And
that'd be such a killer conversation.
Dude, she's the best. That's Nicole Younger, for reference. Yeah, and then we have who else do we have, Mal? We have Zonos here in town. They do like e-commerce, cross-border stuff. And they're not getting, the important thing about a podcast is you're not going to get a lot of views out the gate, but if you're doing it in a business mindset, you have a service or product to go with your expertise, it's almost like an instant return on investment, because you'll get more customers lined up, or you'll get, your next office manager from the show.
Yeah, which is crazy. I was like, that's cool,
So what kind of wins have you guys seen just from your podcast? Because you've been going for what? How long have they been going now? 6-7 months? It's been
that long?
It's been a while. It's been a while now. I think we've been doing this for at least 5-6 months. Crazy. For sure.
Yeah,
I'd say the biggest win that I see is the immediate trust that we have within customers in coming to their home, because they already know you. You're not having to meet them and build that whole relationship up right away. They just know who you are
from the podcast.
From the podcast, yeah.
Oh, that's
sometimes,
or even like the short form content, which is created from the podcast. So it's that immediate, like, oh, I trust them, versus them having to let a random person in their home and try to sell them. Right? Yeah. There's that trust that's already built.
We got a customer that, when I used to work for the other company, call us because she saw one of the short form clips on it. She's like, hey, that's my plumber. Like, who's he work for now? And then she watched it. She realized, oh, he started up his own thing. So she called me. She's like, yeah, I saw your video. So I was like, oh, dang, there's my plumber. I didn't know where you went. So I think it's been cool to see, like, it's still, the views are obviously not
like on
out
the
there,
full
but
form podcast, the views aren't great, but the views on the short form
are amazing.
It's killing it.
Amazing for us.
Yeah, it's all about eyeballs, right? And so if you're doing a podcast currently and you're not putting any short form content out there or dicing that up, and also do video as well. Any podcasters out there, if you're just doing audio, cool, great, but like add some video to it and put it out there on the web, and any platform you can. And you'll get just 10 times the amount of eyeballs, which just equals opportunity, especially if you have a niche and you have a business, right? We've had some wins that our clients have had, as you guys obviously getting some wins, getting that trust, because that's a return customer, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you come in and nail it, they already know you, they call you, you come in and just, blow their socks off with some good service, they're going to call you every time they have an issue. And you guys do plumbing, HVAC, and electrical.
Right.
So that's just even more, right? And then we have some other clients too, real estate guys getting more real estate leads or networking with different businesses and stuff for more revenue capture in different ways. And then one of our biggest ones is in the hospitality space. Shout out to Cody Aiden and his podcast, Virtual GM. But he did it for a year with us. And then he was like, oh man, I might have to cut this expense going into 2024. And within like 4 days from him thinking that, He got 4 clients. They were all over 6 figures.
Dang.
4 clients all over 6 figures. Now, he sells some big ticket items and contracts for hospitality, like hotels and stuff. So it was cool to hear about. So
Cody's got a couple shows, right?
yeah, he's got 2 with us. His hospitality one, Virtual GM, and then he has one around himself and his book. It's called Winning the Moment. Great book too. It's just talking about the philosophy of like creating wins out of everything, right? A loss, or it's your perspective on winning, and how you're really never losing.
Yeah.
It's really good. And so his podcast, I think he's about to break 50,000 on YouTube subscribers, and he's chugging along for that silver plaque from YouTube. I think once you break 100K subscribers, you get a silver plaque.
Subscribe.
That's what we want. We want a silver plaque. Come on, man.
That'd be so cool. And I think you guys will get there. Like, you're starting from scratch too, right? Like, same with Cody. And then we're actually going to have a Blue Form meeting soon with Cody here, and having every podcaster we have. I think there's about 9 of them.
Dude, sweet.
So we're going to do a little like mastermind and just have Cody talk about, excuse me, talk about his engagement tactics, like what he does. He allocates like a certain amount of time each morning and night to be on social media and engage. And he actually does a lot of the stuff that we offer. He goes in and does it himself because I think he's just kind of a control freak, to be honest. Sure. But he likes that. He likes that creative control. And so he handles a lot of the nuanced details himself. He just makes time for it. And then he gets big results from doing that. It's just, he's pouring so much intention into it. It's like, it can't fail. Right.
Yeah.
And you guys, all of our clients are pouring intention into it, just in different ways. So if we come together and talk about it and see who's doing what's working for what industries, it's just going to help everybody.
I look forward to that.
Yeah. So that will be, I think, probably November or December. We're just going to do like a Saturday morning, come in, and we'll have like coffee and donuts for everybody.
That'd be awesome.
And just learn. And then I think what we should do yearly as well is get some bigger influential people in the podcasting space to do that as well. So we could turn this into a pretty big, kind of like a retreat where we're like on a beach or some shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's what
Sipping
I like to hear.
margaritas, learning from other podcasters. But yeah, man.
We'll get the Kelsey brothers. No, I just kidding. That'd be cool. Go Raiders. But, well, I think we'll wrap this up.
Make sure you ask the question.
Yes, I was going to ask. Man. I was going to ask Chill. I know we've been taking some time off, but I remember some things. If you had one piece of advice to give to the world, what would it be?
Oh,
Eat crayons.
Yeah, freaking crayon eaters.
a nice robin egg blue with an evergreen green. Really good. We're all gonna die, and we don't take any of this shit with us. So, get on your self-help journey, get into your business, get successful, but like, be sure you define what it is, and then every now and then just chill the fuck out. I
Don't take life too seriously.
Yeah,
Enjoy
that's
the
basically
moment.
sum it up. Yeah, we're all gonna die, so nothing really matters at all unless you make it matter. That's the only thing that matters.
I like that.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's like a pessimistic optimism. So yeah, have fun out there. Yeah, that's all I got.
I love it. Well, where can they find you? And I know you should throw out your outside of Blue Form, your other podcast that you have personally as well. But
oh, that's right, you guys were on there, and I've had an issue with an editor, so I've delayed a ton. I'm using my podcast to train a new editor, so we have some Dino content coming out from that. But my podcast is called Authentic Identity, the AI podcast, to play on words there. And we just get down on some conspiracies. We talk about like your inner self and like what masks you have to pull off, and shed these layers of your like fake self, and what society's told you, what religions told you, what education's told you, that who you are or who you're supposed to be. And it's just kind of break freeing of all that. So you can find that on YouTube. That's just Authentic Identity. And then, just blueformmedia.com is where you can find all of us. Give us a call, hit us up on Instagram. Or you just use our website feature to contact us, and we can get you quotes and kind of build a custom plan for anybody that wants it. So
awesome.
That's it.
You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. If it's a social media, Neighbor, Nextdoor, whatever it's called, at Dino Service Pros. Our website's www.dinoservicepros or thestgeorgeplumber.com. You can also call us at 435-236-4568. Say hi.
Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.
Bye.